What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Bubba Speed Career Mode in MotoGP 20. And after a couple of tough races, to be fair, the first one we were doing really well in Qatar, and then of course we crashed out like a dumbass by crashing into Thomas Luthi. We were actually pretty poor in Circuit of the Americas, but we got a better finish than I would have expected, considering getting used to the bike and of course being on a track that I just don't like. But it's time to go to Argentina, another track that I'm not a huge fan of. But over the past couple of times I've been there, I've actually been more and more, I've been liking the track more and more. Let's go ahead and take a look at qualifying, and of course I want you guys to let me know what you think in the comment section down below of me showing you guys a qualifying lap. Is it something you care about seeing? Is it something you're interested in seeing? Or is it just something I can completely skip and maybe try to find time to put two races in a single video? I don't know, I'm just trying to find the right formula for you guys, so let me know what you think in the comments down below. So Argentina, another relatively new track. It's been there for a few years now in the MotoGP calendar, and like I said, I didn't play any of the MotoGP games for the most part. I think I played Valentino Rossi the game, which was what, 2016 or 2017's edition, something like that. Maybe a little bit earlier too. I don't remember exactly, but that was the first one I played since MotoGP 11. And then after that, I didn't play a single game until MotoGP 18. So I haven't played this track a lot, because also in those games I never really got past the first or second Moto3 season. So I've just never really, I don't know. This is the first game in the series that has really gotten me interested in playing and has gotten me to have a lot of fun. I'm making a huge mistake right here. This is a part that's really important to the track. And this is my best qualifying lap. Keep that in mind. We're half a second faster than the current best time. So I mean, yes, we made a mistake, but we're still I think on course to at least get a decent lap time. Huge mistake. But yeah, like I was saying, like this is the first game in the MotoGP series that has gotten me, just basically kept me interested in a long time. As we get pole 142.7, see if we kept it. We did keep it, and yeah, we're plus 2.8. Actually, Lowe's and Marini got the same exact time, which is just completely weird. But yeah, so we're on pole, which is good. I think this might be our first pole of the season. Very good to see. And like yeah, I haven't done this track that much, but I've actually been pretty successful on it. I think gotten a win before, and I'm hoping to do well. Obviously, in qualifying we did extremely well. Still trying to tinker with the settings of the bike, traction control and stuff like that, because I don't know, it's just kind of important for me to get all that stuff right for my personal abilities in terms of, you know, me still being horrible at getting on the throttle too hard. So it is important to kind of figure out the right way for me to do this. So first lap, already almost touching the grass. And obviously, I probably should have told you, I'm sure I probably have before, but if you see me struggling extra on the first laps, I'm almost 100% sure it's because I basically fill the fuel tank as high as you possibly can. I do not leave any room for running out of the gas, and I have seen some recommendations like, you know, maybe keep power 2 only for qualifying, or for one of the later laps of the race or something like that, and for the most part only stay in power 1. But that's just not really how I do it. You know what I mean? Like I'm all for, you know, going as hard as I can at all times, and I like to fill up my tank as much as possible. Yes, I sacrifice a little bit in the start of the race because the bike is heavier, it's harder to get through turns, it's a little bit slower and stuff like that. But I do know at the same time, if I can keep myself right there with the top 2 or 3 guys, that I'm going to be battling very soon for the win, or for the lead, I should say. And once I get to the later laps, I'll be actually a lot quicker than I am early on. So that's kind of how I try to work things as of right now. And I don't know if that's necessarily the best way to do it, but that is the way that I've been doing it, and I feel like it's probably going to be the way I'm going to be doing it for the long haul. But yeah, definitely let me know in the comments if you have any tips for that as well. One thing to also note is I'm actually playing this on my 43-inch TV. So this is the first time I've played a MotoGP game, or no, sorry, I should say this is the first race I've done in this MotoGP game with a TV that wasn't 24 inches. So it's really, really helpful. I feel like it's gotten me to the point where I can actually focus more. I've been getting a lot less penalties in practice and qualifying. So far, so good in the race, no penalties. So, yeah, that's something that's been really, really helping me, and I do believe that's going to definitely give us a good advantage going forward, because honestly, like, a lot of my biggest issue with that small TV was I was constantly having to just focus as hard as I could on the TV to be able to even do anything. When I was like, with the smallest little thing, I would lose my concentration, my eyes would get tired, because it might not seem like it, but a lot of these tracks, like Qatar, for example, it's well over 2 minutes on a Moto2 or Moto3 bike, and it's like it can get tiring for your eyes after a while, and that was always an issue for me on that TV. So I feel like now is the time we can possibly shine, and now is the time that we can actually go and start to try to put pressure on the front guys, and who knows, maybe even extend the lead. That would be obviously ideal, because we saw last season what happened in the second half of the MotoGP calendar. Once we get past the European tracks, or I should say the Western European tracks, that's where we start to fall apart a little bit. Once we get to Asia, we can kind of maybe win a race or two here or there with Philippine Island and stuff like that. But more than likely, we're gonna have to be struggling to try to win in the second half of the calendar. So it is fundamental for us, if you want to actually be able to put together a title challenge, to do as well as possible and get as many wins as possible in the Western European part of the MotoGP calendar. I'm confident that we can do it. The bike is good. We're actually performing really, really well. Like, as of right now, we're right there with Lowe's, and I feel like we still haven't gotten to the point of the part of the race where we're gonna be at our best. So, feeling very, very confident. And in general, over the season, I do feel like I'm feeling really, really good with this Moto2 bike. I feel like it's I'm actually better with the Moto2 bike than I was with the Moto3, and a lot of it has to do probably with the fact that I'm actually on a good team, as opposed to being on one of the worst teams in Moto3. That probably does help. That does make a difference. But still, the bottom line is feeling confident as we take first position. See if we can actually put a gap between us and Lowe's now, which would be very, very important. Keep it to where if we do make a mistake or two, it's not going to be a disaster for us. And as you can just kind of see, like I said, man, playing on this new TV, I don't know, I feel like lines-wise, everything, I'm playing a lot better. Ran a little bit wide through this little chicane right here. Could have done a lot better, but definitely wasn't, it wasn't bad at all. Got a decent drive. As you can see, we got a nice little gap now. We have almost a second between us and Lowe's in second position. And this is a turn that I do kind of like. At first I hated it because in the old MotoGP games you couldn't steer, essentially. But this one is that in this game it's actually really, really fun. Kind of ran wide coming out of it there, but still set us up pretty nicely for the left-hander as we finish the lap with a 142.5, which is the best lap of the race so far, and one of the best lap times I think I've had all weekend. So overall, just a good performance right now. 1.8 fuel, we can go down to power 1, as we of course have, and that means we can just kind of cruise our way to the win. Now, as they were talking like yesterday in during the MotoGP race itself in Jerez, of course watching with the Italian commentators, and I will say, man, like, if I'm not mistaken, that was Marco Melandri as the color commentator for DAZN, and that's a really, really big improvement over those dumbasses that were on Sky and on Italia Uno. I mean, like, who the fuck wants to listen to Guido Meda talk a bunch of retarded shit, and Sanchini, who's trash. I much prefer the guys on DAZN, and DAZN does a lot of really piss poor stuff in terms of performance for their channel, and performance in general for like just how things work and who they have working for them. But I will say, between Stefano Borghi as their commentator for football and having Marco Melandri on there, and also I don't remember who exactly the guy that was doing play-by-play. I don't know exactly who he is. I've heard him many a time before. I just can't remember his name. And I was very, very happy with that commentary team. And as they were kind of saying, like, some of the hardest parts of a race is when you're up front and you're dictating the pace, and you don't want to push too hard because you don't want to make a mistake, but you also can't slow down and allow people to get right back on you. So it's kind of difficult to be a front runner, and I feel like for me personally, it's always easier to race. And what I mean by that is, if I'm in qualifying, for example, and it's not a track that I'm very confident in. So let's just say if it's on a track where I'm kind of mediocre, so maybe a Brno or even like a Qatar or something like that. If I'm in the middle of a race, I feel like I can perform. I feel like I can actually compete. I can probably compete for wins. But if I'm on my own in qualifying, if I'm on my own in even just in the race, if I'm like leading or something like that, there's a good chance I'm going to make some mistakes, and I'm going to allow second or third place even to get all up on me, pause, and allow them to get back in the race. So for me, this is always a situation where this is where I want to be in. Of course, everybody wants to be in first with a nice lead to where they don't have to worry too much. But also, it's always in the back of my mind, like, don't go too slow, but also don't push too hard. So just kind of take it soft. Like right there, I'm making a huge mistake. I could have easily just stayed nice and light on the throttle, pushed out of the corner, kept it clean, kept it tight, and not make any mistakes. But of course, running wide, almost hitting the grass, which would have almost been a guarantee of a crash. So it's important to keep your calm, and that's not something that I'm great at. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I don't understand what has happened. I used to be so good at these games. I used to just be extremely clutch. I used to be just extremely cold, and now all of a sudden, man, like I don't know if it's panicking. I don't think it is panicking, because like I don't feel my heart pound or something like that. I just make a lot of mistakes. So it's a shame, but it is what it is. And I don't know, man. Like I've just got to say, like this game in general has given me a lot of confidence in my abilities to actually go through tracks like this. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of like this track right here, Austria. Those are all tracks that have a lot of turns that are essentially U-turns. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of hairpins. Like right here, this is a borderline hairpin, and in the old games it was a nightmare. It was an absolute fucking nightmare because you just could not steer. But in this game, no matter what you do, like obviously if you just completely butcher the turn, you're not gonna go through it right. But if you do it even slightly right, you can come into it, you can come out of it in so many different ways, and it's just so satisfying because really it is all about exploiting the track to the best of your abilities with your preferred style. Obviously, some styles are more efficient than others. My style is not the most efficient because I'm heavy on the tires. I'm still extremely aggressive. Still really working on that. Now, I've been doing a lot of practice. I've been doing a lot of development tests. I've been working as hard as I can to improve on myself as a rider, which is, of course, very important to me, because I eventually want to take myself online and try to win some races there too. But I don't know. I just feel like this game in general has given me a lot of satisfaction as we come to the last part of the track, going extremely wide here, but that's not too bad because, you know, of course you don't want to run wide, but you know it's still a track that has a lot in that spot right there, a lot of runoff. It was worse that we touched the grass. Coming, oh, this is dangerous. This is dangerous. Clipping the grass, no penalty given, thankfully. Like I said, guys, I make a lot of mistakes later on. It's typical of me at this point. Only have one left hand right here, and then we have this long looping right, which will be the next to last turn. Have to come out of this the right way. Hit the brakes. Nicely done. Very nicely done. Keeping it smooth, keeping it soft, coming out of it a little bit too hard. Go through the left hand, and boom! Bubba Speed has won his first race of the Moto2 championship. That's very good to see. We won by 1.5. Bezzecchi finished in third. Jake Dixon in fourth. Luca Marini and Schroeder finished way back there, which is good for us from a points point of view. And look at that, man. Schroeder's not even in the top 10 anymore. That's pretty bad for him. But we have 45 points. We're up by... Oh, no. Oh, shit. I didn't even see him. Fuck. Schroeder's first. We're 1 point behind Schroeder. Sam Lowe's is 4 points behind us. And of course, Sky Racing Team VR46. We are top of the leaderboards for the team championship, which isn't really anything I give a damn about. But it is good to see that we're, as a team, dominating. And I honestly can't believe I didn't see Schroeder right there in first. It's just this new graphic is kind of confusing to me. I immediately look to, you know, the table with just the name of the rider as opposed to look at the big picture of the person. So you would think I would notice that, but my eyes and my brain are indeed mush from staring at a 24-inch TV for this long. Like I said, guys, this is my first race with a 43-incher, and I can see so much better and keep my concentration so much higher. Like, we only made a couple of big mistakes, and that was all in the last lap, which was just because I'm a bum. I'm a bum, and I collapse, and I make a lot of mistakes at the end. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and let me know in the comment section down below. Like I said, man, I like any tips and tricks, any recommendations you have for the channel, and just let me know in general, like, what you think of this career mode and what I can do to improve the bike with my research and development, and if you have any kind of requests or ideas for what I could do for this channel. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.